If you have questions, concerns, and are just lost when it comes to planning for retirement, meet Steve Hoyle and Derrick Caldwell of the Hoyle Financial Group. Something I want to tackle here right off the bat is really the silent killer for everybody right now. I don't care who you are. You're feeling it at the gas pump. You're feeling it in the grocery store, especially. I mean, even things like your car insurance is going up. Things that you never thought would just change prices all of a sudden are because of inflation. And if you were to talk to the government people who spit out economic statistics left and right, they're going to tell you that inflation is actually easing. And again, for regular folks like us, not really, right? We're still feeling it. So because of the prices of things like food and gas, they haven't gone up, but they're not going down. My question, Derrick and Steve, is how are you helping your clients feel good about retirement plans, and how do you help them craft in, I guess, an income plan for these sort of things we can't control with the economy and such?
Well, there's a lot that goes into income planning and everything, but that's the biggest thing, I think, Steve, that we do is set up income plans for our clients. And there's a lot of great annuities that have inflation adjustments on income, because that's a real downside to pensions, is that most pensions don't have any kind of cost of living increases or anything. And with Social Security, there's cost of living increases, but that's generally eaten up by Medicare. So when you're in retirement, you really have to rely on your retirement assets to continue to grow and fight inflation for you and take income off of those. But the annuities give you the ability to have some safety in your portfolio, a division of your assets that's kind of geared towards income that continue to go up with cost of living increases. And most of our clients have that type of portfolio, and it really allows them to not be as stressed about inflation, because we knew eventually it would come to bite us, right? I mean, we saw the writing on the wall for a while there. And although it is a little bit higher than I thought it would be, Steve, don't you think? Food is atrocious right now, guys.
Well, it's crazy, Derrick. I think one of the big advantages to the income plan we're talking about is that it protects the breadwinner or whoever it is, and it also protects their spouse, where neither one of them outlive that income. But what's become so important with our income strategy is we used to tell people 6, 7 years, 8 years down the road, you're going to need a catch-up bucket to have more income. But that's changed with this inflation. It could be over 2 years, but at least in 3 years or 4 years, you're going to have to turn on another bucket of money to have that income. And you laugh at me all the time about my gasoline prices, okay? I have a story. The car that I'm driving uses extra, okay, but I use the middle because I just can't stand to buy that more expensive gas. So gas traveling this last week was $2.99, $3.01, $3.07. So usually 20 cents more is the midline gas that I need to put in my car. No, I'm not going to spend the money for the extra. Well, pulling this station, it was $2.95 for the unleaded, but I started filling it up and I realized, oh my gosh, it was $3.57 for the mid, which most mids only about 20 cents more. But you know what? I was already filling it up. It was low on gas, and I paid that. But I'm telling you, it's all those little gotchas that we're seeing with inflation that are really affecting people. I think it's real.
It's 100% real. And just like you were talking about the price of food, I think more than ever, myself, I think our listeners included, when I'm going to the grocery store, there are many times I sit there and I compare brands and off brands and ounces and all these things. And I'm really weighing the option. Do I need to spend this $6 for whatever it is? Whereas before, I never thought about it. I threw it in the basket and we kept it moving. Now you're starting to weigh options. A lot of folks cutting back at home, with whether it's they're cutting their internet, they're cutting their phone, their cable, whatever, to save more money, to have money for things like medication. Those prices are going up, to have things like food, which also kind of leads me into this other conversation here. Yes, there are vehicles, there are strategies we can use. Derrick, you mentioned annuities there that kind of give you that growth and protection opportunity there. And there's a different, as you mentioned the word rider, basically, there's an avenue there to give you that guaranteed income to keep up with inflation. But, all these different moving factors, I would be remiss if I didn't say, look, earlier in the week, we had a debate. We know there's a big election going on. Inflation is a huge discussion of this election. How are people going to survive? How are people going to maintain? Do you have a lot of folks calling and saying, look, I don't want to do anything with my money. I'm hedging my bets on if he or she's in the White House, and when that happens, I'll give you a call. Is that the best idea?
I had a family member, Jess, that had that this week. He called yesterday and said, I'm in a 7-year contract. It's a point-to-point in the market. I made 10.6% last year. I have one more year left, and he's willing to pay the surrender charge and get out of it and move to a fixed rate of 5.1% so that if it doesn't make anything next year, I'm like, wait a minute, no matter what, if you pay the surrender charge and then have that 5.1%, you're going to have the same amount of money if it doesn't earn anything as you have today. Are you sure you want to do that? He said, well, with politics the way they are, I think I'm ahead. What I want to say, Jess, is people are making knee-jerk reactions based on things that are not factual. I think people need to stay the course and get some advice. Come see us and let's help you figure out fact from fiction.
And Jess, you hit on the nail on the head there. There is a lot of uncertainty surrounding this. And what we're seeing a lot is that, well, I'll just be open and honest and blatant with everybody listening here is, if you are worried that badly about your portfolio, you are not in the right portfolio. You don't have a plan in place that if Harris wins or if Trump wins and those type of things, if they start to factor in based upon what happens in November, that you don't think that your portfolio is going to tolerate it, I'll tell you right now, you're not in the right one to begin with. Because you should be able to withstand no matter who's president, no matter what's going on, no matter if they raise taxes next year, if they lower taxes next year, your portfolio needs to be stress tested to handle these events before they happen, not after they happen. And those are the things we do on a daily basis and go through and stress test your portfolio on taxation, income plan, your actual financial portfolio, where your investments are, how you're invested, and how are you diversified. These are things that you need to give us a call about to take advantage of now and be proactive, guys. I mean, we got a couple months left to the election happens and everything. You can't just sit on the sidelines and pray and hope that your guy wins.
I want to go back to kind of what we started talking about is, the silent killer inflation, and it kind of moved us to the election conversation of, well, there's a lot of uncertainty. We're getting promises out of both sides of everyone's mouth. So what do we do? How do we protect ourselves? But also, even though interest rates, as doom and gloom as it seems, Derrick, you talked about annuities. There's also great opportunities right now with annuities to take advantage of these high interest rates, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of the growth capability on those that aren't guaranteed are phenomenal. And the rates that are guaranteed and fixed are some of the best rates we've seen in Steve, the last 5, 10 years easily. So
they're not going to be here long.
And I'll tell you guys, if you're not getting 4.5% on your quote unquote safe money assets, and we're talking about your fixed rates out there, CDs, your money markets, annuities, stuff like that, you need to give us a call. Don't stop. Pull over the side of the road if you're driving. Stop what you're doing and call us. Because that is something that's a no-brainer right now, that you should be getting 4.5% on your fixed assets right now. You should not be getting any less than that. So if you're getting 0.1% or 1% or something like that, I will give you an avenue to take advantage of that, because we have some of the best rates we've ever seen, right, Steve?
Absolutely. And I think the other thing is, Derrick, people that are worried about what's coming, whether it's a rate reduction, which is going to affect those rates, they're going to start coming down, or worried about what's going to happen at the White House, they need to start worrying about what's happening at their house. They need to come get a plan and have a strategy so no matter what happens, they're set for retirement. Don't waste that opportunity. If you're 59 and a half, most likely you can take control of your retirement monies. And I see so often people have an old 401k, an old IRA just sitting out there doing nothing. And, Derrick, right now, I see so many people that still have a lot of cash just hanging around out there. Do something with it. Put it to work. I think that's what it's all about.
Steve, we should have trademarked what you just said. I don't even know if you caught it. It's like, don't worry about the White House, worry about your house.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man, guys, we missed a chance here. We should have been doing that like months ago. That's fantastic. Jess, I'm going to say first 5 callers here, guys. Complimentary retirement analysis, income plan, the works. We're going to go through and really make sure that all your money, including your bank savings, CDs, complete analysis overhaul for you and give you a good picture where you can make quick, easy decisions and bulletproof your portfolio for what's coming up in November.
If you've been to any of the major stores, Costco, Target, Walmart, you're seeing everything. I mean, right next to Halloween is Christmas. I mean, they are spending, they're not waiting any time. They want you to get out there and start buying for the holidays. Got me thinking towards the end of the year here. When should we do some sort of end of year planning, a little check-in, a little financial check-in with ourselves?
Well, and everybody needs to ask themselves, have you sat down with your advisor in the last 6 months? If you haven't done that, then run. Don't walk. And get, with them, or obviously give us a call, because we don't let our clients go 6 months without sitting down to us. And let's be honest, I have to drag some people in, right? I mean, that's how it goes. I call them and I'm like, hey, John, you got to come in. Let's sit down and go over your portfolio, see what's going on in your life that's changed. Nah, Derrick, I'm fine. Everything's going great, man. You got me set up. No. Come on in. Because inevitably what happens is we start talking about life. We just start talking about his family and things start to come up in the conversation. Mm-hmm. And that's super important to have that relationship with your advisor. And if you don't, call us today, guys. I mean, we build those relationships every day, and we build this firm on the foundation of family and supporting each other and just being there and building that community within Hoyle Financial. That's what we love. I mean, Steve, you did a great job role modeling that, when I came on years ago, and that's something that's very important to us.
Well, Derrick, I think it's interesting. After doing this for 35 years, I don't know many people that were through 9/11, through the 2000 when the world was coming to an end, that were there for 2008. And I really think it's changed our model because we've continued to make changes, and we've learned that from our clients. But while we're sitting here, my phone just rang and I turned it off. I'll call her back after we get finished being live. But her mom was our client for years, and then she got dementia, and now she's living with the daughter, and the daughter's our client. Everybody in the family's our client, and she just called me. And I think what's important is legacy planning. Thinking about, this lady was tight; she never spent any money, so it's really important that somebody in that family use that money. Don't just go buy a new pickup with it. I think passing money on the right way, teaching people how to use money. And I think that's one of the things we do at Hoyle Financial well. We love generational planning, helping that next generation be good with that money like you were.
Now, Derrick, for those that are listening going, all right, I've been listening to the show, and today they're really hitting all the hard spots for me, the election, inflation, this financial check-in for the end of the year. Explain a little bit what the process is like at Hoyle Financial Group and why folks you need to come, because you guys stick out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Jess. And, we have a checklist that we go through with our reviews, and it's about 10 different items. We do a just complete portfolio review each and every time a client comes in. We talk about making sure their RMDs are set. We talk about tax efficient strategies for RMDs, such as charitable deductions that you can use for your RMDs. And for everybody, RMDs are required minimum distributions. It's the amount of money you have to take out of pre-tax accounts for the IRS. We talk about insurance review, right? We talk about long-term care needs. We talk about just life insurance in general, even everything from index universal lives. We are very holistic. So we look at capital gain payout. If we get closer to the end of the year on your review, that's when we start talking about some strategies on utilizing, maybe there's a certain investment that has a loss that we can take a gain in one and offset it with another one to make sure and kind of reprioritize or refocus your portfolio, but at the same time not creating taxable events. And just one of the biggest questions I ask people, this is generally after the first quarter of the year, we talk about taxes. And I don't know how many times people have said, I've never had a financial advisor ask me about how my taxes went this year and what deductions I took and things like that, because 99% of them don't know. So we have them bring in their actual tax returns. Let's walk through it. Let's see what you did last year, how you came out, and look at strategies to improve that. and we talk about everything from the sun up, sundown, even beneficiary, Steve, estate planning. We have a small business transition that we set up where if you're a small business owner, we look at tax efficient ways to sell your business. Exit strategies are what they're called. This is things that you have to do in advance because the exit strategies, the taxable burden you can take on, it could be huge for you. And eventually you want to retire if you own a business, right? That's the whole, thing is you want to build it up and sell that baby off and retire. And so, these are a lot of things we talk through and go through, and we have a checklist. We're very methodical because we want to make sure it's all done correctly.
I think, Derrick, one other thing that we really do, and I think we do well, is, opposites attract. And our clients, come in to see us as prospects or new clients, and they sit across from the room because they're on different pages. One is a risk taker, one needs safe money. And I think we help people come together and put that at ease and really get them on the same page about retirement. I think all those things are so important. If you're serious about your retirement, if you don't have a plan or you need a review of your plan, call us today and let's really figure out a retirement roadmap that works for you, your family, your future to get in retirement and through retirement. That's what it's about. It all starts with a phone call or go to retiretexasstyle.com. Let us talk to you. Let's figure out how to do the Texas two-step and make retirement everything you want it to be.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve and Derrick or a member of the Hoyle Financial Group, visit retiretexasstyle.com.
Investment advice offered through Hoyle Wealth Management, a Texas-registered investment advisor able to provide investment advice in states where it's registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Steve Hoyle, Texas Insurance License 716036. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Hoyle is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Hoyle is licensed in your state, please call 806-371-9473.